Hello, hello, ladies and gents. I am Day 9.
And I am H to the Husky.
And guess where we are, Husky? Take a wild frickin' guess.
We are going to be in game number 2, and our two players are going to be Root Destiny spawning up here in the top left side. His opponent going to be that Startail Ace in the bottom right side. And Sean, Destiny showing us some pretty sexy Infestor play in that last game.
I mean, absolutely stunning Infestor play. It's one of those moments where you realize that you may have just misthought about the way that some units should work. I mean, in theory, you should have mainly core units and a couple of spellcasters. That's what you see in a Terran army. Big Marine Marauder, couple of Ghosts. That's what you see in a Protoss army. Big Zealot Stalker army with a couple of Templar. But Destiny's basically all Infestors with a smattering of Zerglings and Roaches put in there, like as a garnish to his Infestor salad. I mean, just an incredible amount of Infestors using the fungal growths and infested Terrans in beautiful timing, and even that Neural Parasite to get some of the Protoss units to rebel and kill each other. Just incredible, incredible Infestor usage.
Yeah, and after that game number 1, Startail Ace probably, I would assume, gonna try to prevent Destiny from getting that many Infestors. Every time I see Destiny get that many Infestors, it just seems like he has a much higher chance of winning. So we'll see if Ace decides to try and put on a little bit of pressure here. Although, no, he does not, Sean. As right now he has his Forge going down, looking to fast expand once again. What do you think about this?
I always like a fast expand on this map. I mean, we do see the probe from Startail's Ace hitting Destiny's base right now, and he's going to see that spawning pool. And at this point, all you're going to really do as the Protoss player is just complete your wall off, take your expansion, and then you're free to tech. And I want to come back a little bit to what you were saying about needing to stop the Zerg from getting that many Infestors, because in traditional PvZ, it's the Zerg that has the burden. Zerg has to attack Protoss to prevent Protoss from getting the huge mixture of Colossus, Gateway units, all the scary stuff. But suddenly the reverse is true. It's Protoss that needs to begin being aggressive and preventing Zerg from taking expansions. Because as we saw, once Destiny gets to 8 geysers, even up to 6 geysers, it can be quite a problem with his Infestor numbers.
And it also shows you how the game can evolve over time. This is why StarCraft has always been an amazing sport, where, I mean, yeah, back in the day, all the Zergs thought, wow, there's nothing I can do versus this big ball, but they're starting to learn that they can, which kind of puts the burden back on the Protoss, and that's just the metagame for you, Sean, as it shifts all over the place. So we will see if Startail Ace is able to figure out how to go up against Destiny. I personally would expect Destiny to go for the Infestors again, just because this map, these spawn locations are very viable for those units, although I have seen many other things be viable as well. Nidus Worms I've seen used on this map just because the main base is so large and there's a lot of kind of outsticking parts of the base where you can put up Nidus Worms and things like that. So, I mean, there is a lot of options for both players. Although Ace, I wonder if he's a little shooken up after that last game, because some of those battles were heavily swinging in the Zerg's favor.
Yeah. We see the two simulators now going down for Ace. And I want to ask you, Husky, you've gotten a chance to see a lot of top players play on this map, Shakuras Plateau. What are some typical transitions you're going to see out of Protoss going into the mid-game?
Well, on this map, I mean, I personally play Protoss, so I am definitely very familiar with this map, and I usually expand off of the 3 gateways. He's doing it just off of the Forge fast expand, which I would say is much better on this map. I'm just kind of a big old noob, so I like having sentries out to protect me. Yeah, he is definitely a little bit better than I am, and he looks like he's going to be in a safe position here, Sean. It does look like Destiny is going to be getting a Spine Crawler, which to me is a fairly early Spine Crawler there. Maybe a little scared after that first one, but back to the question, Sean. I would expect the Protoss player here to tech up like crazy. I mean, he's getting his Cybernetics core right now, working on the warp gates right there, and I mean, it's such a long rush distance on this map that no, the 2 Zealots though are once again going to move out, although they will run into a Spine Crawler this time.
This is actually very weird timing that we've seen from Ace in both games, and this to me just screams practice when, regardless of the map or the positions, he's just doing this push again and again. And generally, you don't see this fast of a third gas from Startail's Ace. Again, another sign that just screams practice. We haven't seen any tech, we haven't seen any upgrades, we see really no indication of what Ace is going to do, but he's getting that really early third gas right after he does this crazy Zealot Stalker aggression, and amazingly enough, that Spine Crawler apparently finishing just in time. And now I'm very curious to see what Ace is going to have in store. We see a couple of gateways coming out, but he might be gearing up to take a very fast third base, relying on just sentries to back himself up.
Yeah, the timing of the gateways does seem a little odd. He just added on a 4th gateway right now, warping that one in as well. So he does have the option to put on some pressure, but it's definitely much more delayed than some sort of 4-gate. I mean, you can see, you know, in the 7-minute area of the game that he's just now going to be getting those gateways up, able to take out one of the Overlords that was scouting around. I'm kind of curious exactly what that Overlord was able to see for Destiny. It saw every single gateway before getting sniped there, so the positioning of that Overlord was perfect, and I do like how Ace was able to back out his Zealots to save them. He didn't take very much damage other than the shield damage there. So both players not going to be in a horrible spot, but Destiny is going to be feeling good, knowing exactly what his opponent's doing, unless they were to be canceled, which they are not. And once again, Sean, he is going to get that lair tag.
We do see that there's a Stalker now taking out this Scouting Overlord by Destiny. Destiny, very regular user of the Suicide Overlord plays, just wants to check in, find out what's up. There's a 2 Evo Chambers and the lair going down by Destiny. Looks like a similar style to what we saw last game. And I gotta tell you something a little bit non-StarCraft related, Husky, but I guess I would call it casting related, that where I'm sitting, there is a chandelier directly over my head, and it has these sort of furry little tendrils that hang off it to be decorative, but I keep stretching and waving my arms in the middle of the game, and I keep thinking that I'm petting like a human head that's like looking over my shoulder. So I've actually screamed a couple times during some recordings that have caused me to have to redo them. So
that is the price we pay, Sean, for casting in luxury these days.
Yes.
Casting has gotten so big that we can afford those fur-covered chandeliers that everyone strives for. But you know, it's kind of more dangerous than people realize.
That is true. I will still never forget the day when there was a bug in the middle of a commentary, and I completely recoiled away from the computer and was unable to speak as I was shrieking. Like a little girl who just saw a rat. I was just absolutely terrified. We do see the +1/+1 upgrades going down for Root Destiny. We see, interestingly, a Spire coming up very early. No Infestor play, and I genuinely wonder if Ace has done the overcompensation in his mind. If he's been thinking, oh gosh, yeah, he's going to go for the Infestor play. The Infestors are going to be so strong. He sees some signs to indicate that a similar build might be en route and may try to incorrectly account for it, because we are seeing the Mutalisk play. It looks like it's going to be coming out for Destiny. We see more gateways, and we see a lot of Colossi coming out. Husky, Ace loves 2-base, almost all-in-ish Colossus pushes. He is a huge fan of the 2-base Colossus.
Yeah, and for a Protoss player, I mean, the Protoss army is strongest when they're knocking at your front door and you're not able to re-macro those units, and when it's forcing the Zerg in a defensive position. So I'm going to be interested to see this Mutalisk play if Destiny decides to follow through with it. Is that going to lock down the ability for Ace to move out with that army? Because, again, we were mentioning before, it is still very effective for Zerg players to try and keep the Protoss player from getting tons of units, from moving out and being outside your front door while you yourself as a Zerg player are expanding. Although it does look like Ace has added on a couple more gateways, and it does seem like he's just going to be powering off of these gateways and attempt to do just that 2-base play you were mentioning, Sean. And right now, all Destiny has is Zerglings, but that is because he has saved all of his gas for 12 Mutalisks being produced right now. And I don't know if you noticed this on your end, but that Spire is completely hidden on the left side.
That is exactly what I was about to bring up. That is brilliant Spire placement. Little risky, because if Protoss tries to plant a proxy pylon and spots it, that can be the worst thing in the whole wide world. But man, I am not feeling too good for Ace in this position. He doesn't have that much anti-air, and here come the Zerglings wrapping around brilliantly. Oh my gosh, and the Mutalisk target firing the Colossus. It is going to fall. Complete and total surround by Destiny. Ace making the huge mistake, misreading his opponent, going for the 2-base push. But the Mutalisk Zergling from Destiny is just overwhelming the Protoss forces. They fall. And a quick, easy cleanup. And here comes Destiny just marching directly into the natural expansion. I don't know if there's any way that the Protoss can hold this push off.
Well, Sean, I think I'm going to have to take a little bit of a break from Ladder because that build was so good. I would not be surprised to see a lot of Zerg players go that, completely taking a top player like Ace, seemingly by absolute surprise. He was not prepared for this at all. You can see Desperation Pylons going down to try and hold this, but now his Cybernetics Core is done, which means no units to attack air, and all he has is a couple of Stalkers remaining, nothing on the production tab. And there is going to be the GG in that game. I just got to say that was a complete build order ownage, Sean, and he completely took his opponent by surprise. I don't know if you still have your replay open. I hope you do, but just look at the positioning of that Spire. It is so perfect. He almost had the +1 attack done as well. And during that, the Protoss actually scouted that third base location and was not able to spot that Spire, because whoever hides a Spire behind those grass? I mean, come on. Why would you ever scout there? So great read by Destiny.
Well, now it's going to be 99% of players on the ladder doing a Spire rush there. There's going to be Protosses that literally plant a cannon on that high ground and shoot down the Spire. Well, the one thing that I want to note, though, is that in Protoss's shoes, you have to identify that the Zerg player has not taken a third base. All strategies revolve around expansion timings. Any typical Zerg play would have already had this third hatchery up, especially if he's going for infestors, because infestors essentially are just huge gas-heavy units. So if I'm in Ace's shoes, I need to look and say, man, there's no third base. I should actually be playing passively and going for my third base a little bit earlier, because what worked out so brilliantly is that Ace did the attack timing at the worst possible moment, and Destiny easily wrapped around. If for some reason Ace had stayed passive, the Zerglings would have never been able to do such a good wraparound. So I definitely think that that is a little bit of a blunder from Ace. Went a little bit too much into autopilot with his two-base Colossus play. It's an extremely strong push, but only against a subset of Zerg styles.
Great play here from Destiny today, Sean. I am excited to be casting more games with you as well, and definitely keep an eye out for Destiny. While he may have dropped one of those ZvZs like we mentioned, he is proving to be extremely powerful in the other matchups, and I definitely think he's one of the players who has matured quite heavily, and he is proving it in this tournament today. So I don't have anything else to say, Sean. I don't know if you do. I will let you wrap this one up, but what a great series here, just showcasing how good Destiny has gotten lately.
Thanks so much for watching this match in the GeForce SC2 Pro-Am. For more matches, go to geforce.cevo.com. That is geforce.cevo.com. I'd say it twice, but this is a video, so just rewind if you didn't hear me. With that, I think we're going to wrap this up and do another one, Husky. I'm Day9.
And I'm Husky. We'll see you guys next time.